Let's take under 5 minutes to get into the presence of Jesus Christ. Amen. We're going to go to the book of John, chapter 18. Now, we're talking about when Jesus got arrested. Chapter 18, verse 1. When Jesus had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side, there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Jesus goes off to pray. His disciples know the location of where he goes to pray. Verse 3, so Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and the Pharisees. So Judas is now coming with the what? The police. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. So they're coming to take Jesus by force. Verse 4, Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, who is it you want? So Jesus goes out and says, who is it that you're looking for? Jesus of Nazareth, they replied. I am he, Jesus said, and Judas, the traitor, was standing there with them. When Jesus said, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. Again, he asked them, who is it you want? So Jesus is asking again, who is it that you're looking for? Jesus of Nazareth, they said. Jesus answered, I told you that I am he. If you are looking for me, then let these men go. This happened so that the words he had spoken would be fulfilled. I have not lost one of those you gave me. So Jesus's disciples were not hurt or injured or anything. His word is going to be fulfilled at this point. He's not wanting to cause any harm to anybody. He doesn't want harm to come on anybody. Verse 10. Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. So Peter said, you can get these hands. I'm not Jesus. The servant's name was Malchus. Jesus commanded Peter, put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me? So Jesus says to Peter, I must drink of the cup for which I have come here to drink of. Please put that knife away, Peter. Then the detachment of soldiers with its commander and the Jewish officials arrested Jesus. So now Jesus has now been placed under arrest peaceably. They bound him and brought him first to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jewish leaders that it would be good if one man died for the people. So Caiaphas had suggested that one person should die for the people. Peter's first denial is what we're going to get into next. Verse 15, Simon Peter and another disciple were following Jesus. So two of his disciples are now what? Following him. Because this disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the high priest's courtyard. But Peter had to wait outside the door. So they didn't took Jesus in. Peter's waiting outside, just like when people are waiting for their loved ones who are in jail. The other disciple, who was known to the high priest, came back, spoke to the servant girl on duty there, and brought Peter in. So now Peter has been allowed to come in. You weren't one of this man's disciples too, are you? She asked Peter. So now they're asking Peter some questions. Were you out there with Jesus? Are you one of his followers? He replied, I am not. Verse 18, it was cold, and the servants and officials stood around a fire they had made to keep warm. Peter also was standing with them, warming himself. So we know it's cold outside, so everybody's trying to get warm. Verse 19, meanwhile, the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teachings. I have spoken openly to the world, Jesus replied. I always taught in synagogues or at the temple where all the Jews come together. I said nothing in secret. Why are you questioning me? Ask those who heard me. Surely they know what I said. So Jesus is telling the high priest, I have done nothing in secret. Everything I have done has been open and out in the public. Ask anybody. They can tell you about my character and who I am. Verse 22, when Jesus said this, one of the officials nearby slapped him in the face. Is this the way you answer the high priest? He demanded. Verse 23, if I said something wrong, Jesus replied, testify as to what is wrong. But if I spoke the truth, why did you strike me? So Jesus want to know, why are you hitting me? I haven't said anything that is wrong. Then Ananias sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest. So now Jesus has now been sent away to someone else to also be judged. We're going to go a little bit longer than 5 minutes, okay? Meanwhile, Simon Peter was still standing there warming himself. So they asked him, You aren't one of his disciples too, are you? So they're asking, are you one of Jesus' disciples? They asked him again twice. He denied it, saying, I am not. One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him. Didn't I see you with him in the garden? So he's like, I know I seen you. You was out there when the arrest took place. Again, Peter denied it. And in that moment, a rooster began to crow. So Peter has just denied Jesus 3 times. But then in verse 28, then the Jewish leaders took Jesus from Caiaphas to the place of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanness, they did not enter the palace because they wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So now little time is going to have to pass by because of what? The Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, what charges are you bringing against this man? Pilate wants to know, why have y'all brought him to me? If he were not a criminal, they replied, we would not have handed him over to you. So they're saying, we bring him because the man is a criminal. Pilate said, take him yourselves and judge him by your own law. Pilate said, I don't want no part in this. Take this man to your own people and judge him. But we have no right to execute anyone, they objected. This took place to fulfill what Jesus had said about the kind of death he was going to die. So Jesus' prophecy is coming to pass. Verse 33, Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, are you the king of the Jews? He asked Jesus. Jesus replied, is that your own idea? Jesus asked, or did others talk to you about me? So Jesus wants to know, where did you get this from? Am I a Jew? Pilate replied. Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it that you have done? So now Jesus is being questioned by Pilate, asking, what have you done that these people have brought you to me? Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders, but now my kingdom is from another place. So Jesus says, I am not from here. I am just here for the time that I am sent to be here. You are a king then, said Pilate. Jesus answered, you say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me. Jesus said, I have come here to tell you all the truth, and everybody should be doing what? Listening. Verse 38, what is the truth? Retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, I find no basis for a charge against him. So Pilate's saying there, I can't find any wrong in this man. I find no basis for a charge against him, but it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews? They shouted back, no, not him. Give us Barabbas. Now Barabbas had taken part in an uprising. So now they're saying, no, we want Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. We want Jesus to be crucified. Now Jesus, no fault was found in him of any kind, and now the people are still screaming to crucify him. What a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. But we know that Jesus came here that his will might be fulfilled. The will of what God sent him here to do. We thank God, we thank God, we thank God, and we thank Jesus for what he has done for us. And we remember him for what he has done for us. He was blameless. No fault was found in him. He was sent here to spread the good news and to tell the truth unto the people. And we are watching it unfold. Amen. Amen. May the Lord add many a blessing to your life from the hearing and the reading of his word.